Earth, the planet that we live on, home to nearly 10 billion people. But is it home to all of us? Some of us are not from here, and we know it. Maybe not consciously, but on a subconscious level, we know we don't belong here. So where did we come from? Which galaxy did we originate from? Who are our original people? We have to ask ourselves, are we from the Milky Way galaxy or from somewhere else? We are on a constant journey of searching where we belong and why we exist in the first place. But are the explanations from earthly religions going to answer these questions for us? So many people these days have questions of life and existence, but are left empty with only more questions after following some earthly belief structure for years. We also wonder, why are some people born with incredible talents and seemingly have an advantage over others intellectually, and some fall short? Do we reincarnate and learn through our existence, giving us an advantage in our next lifetimes? Or do we live only one lifetime and go to heaven like religion tells us? Some people believe we're in a simulation and our lives are being controlled by powerful beings. Some people believe that a creator deity presides over us and dictates every aspect of our lives. Or do we have control over our own lives completely, and we decide every aspect of our existence? We live on a planet that's shrouded in mystery with ancient structures that were built, but we have no definitive way of explaining how this was accomplished. Did other people from another planet come to Earth in the distant past and help our ancestors build these megalithic structures? Also, do ghosts exist, or are they figments of our wild imaginations? Have the hundreds of sightings of Bigfoot and other cryptids been fabrications of people that were seeking attention? Or have they been here with us all of this time? We also have to ask the question about our genetics and why we are so barbaric and warlike. Were we genetically manipulated by other human beings to be predisposed to barbaric tendencies? Have other humans and people from the great expanse of the cosmos been coming here for millions of years, and people are only denying this fact? I'm going to delve into these things: reincarnation, spirituality, existence, UFO encounters, the paranormal, science, genetics, and the future on livestream, and discuss with you, the listeners, and try to figure out the truth of all these mysteries. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find out together that we are all not from Earth.
Welcome, everyone. Hopefully, the audio is on. Thanks for joining me tonight on this 15th episode. Can we become immortal and live forever? What a question, huh? That'd be nice if it was possible. But sorry, I'm going to break a lot of your hearts tonight. It's not possible. But there are ways of prolonging life and extending your life. We'll be talking about these ridiculous people that are going around saying that they're going to live forever and all that. I mentioned a couple of people. I'm going to delve into some scientific studies, explain a couple things about cells and DNA and all that. One study from Cleveland, and I'll show you that slideshow. But first couple of updates. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Don't know really what to think of all of it. I'd pretty much say that it's the end of an era of social media. They are seriously, hindering free speech. Um, my opinion, the AI is taking over social media, automatically, booting people with, actual, like, factual opinions, targeting certain people's, and that's not good, guys. That is, we are on a downward spiral. Um, towards just all out misinformation. There are very, very few people out there that are actually telling the truth about things, and people are just like gobbling up this nonsense, and that is so unbelievably dangerous. I can't even begin to explain that, but um, you just have to like look at the facts, look at multiple news outlets, and come to your own intelligent conclusion about things. But yeah, it appears that Reddit is spiraling downward, and the Department of Homeland Security is bringing Reddit to court for some singular individual that was criticizing ICE agents. You got to be kidding me. You have literally got to be joking about this. They care so much about the opinion of someone that's exercising free speech. You're not out there doing anything that's like of a terrorist nature. They're just speaking their mind. Um, and Reddit doesn't want to disclose the identity of this person, but they know. It looks like they're going to have to, because the Department of Homeland Security is suing them, forcing them to divulge this person's name. What are they going to do with this person? You got to wonder, like, when they find out who this person is, um, what are they going to do? Take them to jail? Deport them? You've got to be kidding me! Because someone spoke their mind. It's like what I'm doing on this platform. I'm just relaying the facts from my own research, and I could be targeted, but I'm still going to do it. That's not going to deter me from doing what needs to be done. It needs to be done. Someone needs to put out this knowledge and information and try to, like bring about a positive message and wake people up. This is so unbelievably dangerous. Even the lawyers at Reddit said how dangerous this was, that they're, taking them to court to, prosecute an individual or individuals. So think about this: when that person is held accountable for having free speech, that is going to literally have a domino effect on everyone else. If they can get away with that, and putting somebody in jail just for speaking against ICE agents, which are Gestapo thugs that murdered more than two people. More than two people have been murdered since all of this ICE nonsense started. And even years ago, in the first Trump presidency, they were going around and shooting immigrants. And you didn't really hear about that, did you? Because they hushed that up. So this is just unbelievable that they can do whatever they want. They can go around killing American citizens. They can go around killing immigrants, which there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that, because um, they're here. They work. They make a living. They work in the farms. They work in other places, and they help the economy. And only the tiniest fraction of them are actually like, gang members. It's over exaggerated to beyond an extreme, and it's just it's heading down in a very dangerous direction, where if you say anything, you're a target now. You put a bullseye on your back, and they're going to come for you, and take you to jail just because you said a few words, you posted a few videos, you got a few views. Unbelievable. Guys, this is so unbelievably dangerous. The reason why we have these amendment rights is so we can, not be subjected by the government or by the authorities. That's the reason why. It never works out. It's never worked out in the past, and things have evolved a little bit, and we have a little bit more freedom, but obviously not with Donald Trump in office. Anyway, he's on the way out. He's been visiting the hospital a lot. That's the reason why his wife she made that public announcement. Oh my god, that was such an embarrassment. uh, claiming that she's not a victim of Jeffrey Epstein and that she only knew him from social circles. So why are there like dozens and dozens of pictures of her like kissing him on the lips, hugging him, hanging out? Oh, I just happened to run into him in social circles. Yeah, no, because Donald Trump met her from Jeffrey Epstein, and this is unbelievable. I mean, she's trying to get out of it because she knows that her husband's on the way out. He is literally coming down to his last months in this lifetime, and I can tell you what, it is going to be a worldwide holiday. Guys, let's celebrate. I hate to say it. I don't revel in people's demise, but I would have to say the world would be a better place without him. And Benjamin Netanyahu. These people are just unbelievably hateful. They're just shrouded in lies and manipulations and misinformation. And, there's still some idiots out there that believe that nonsense. It's just ridiculous. It's because they're just like them. That's why. Because they want to be hateful. They want to be racist. They want this, new Fourth Reich to come about. That's what they want. White supremacists, neo Nazis, all of them, fascists. They want this because they're just hateful people. So if you're like that, change. Don't be hateful. What's the point of being hateful? It's just perpetuating an endless cycle of negativity and hate. Come on, guys. It has to end somewhere. It has to eventually end. It's never going to last forever. And you know what's going to happen in the future? History is going to remember people like that are negative and evil and sexually depraved as being some of the worst human beings that ever existed in this civilization. You will literally go down in the history books. Children will be learning in school the hateful, evil people and dictators by name. They're going to know who you are. So my advice is just quit. Quit now. Try to recover, some sort of like dignity and sense of self-respect, and just get out of it. Just stop being hateful. What's the point of doing it? What's the point of wanting world war and subjectiveness? No one benefits from any of this nonsense. No one does. It never has benefited anyone. And for the life of me, I just can't figure out why there's so many people around the world that are just so hateful. Let's just stop the hate. Let's stop the nonsense, and let's come together to try to figure out a solution to all the problems, because there's enough problems as it is without war and without genocide and without all of it. We have so many diseases and viruses and degenerative disorders, sexually transmitted diseases out there. Um, the garbage is piling up. There's no like legitimate way of taking care and recycling the garbage properly. It's getting dumped into the oceans in the Southeast Pacific, also in South America. And guess what? It washes right back up shore. And these companies that send these container loads full of this garbage, they have to end up paying people in those countries to collect the garbage again, like in the Philippines and places. My goodness, how ignorant can you possibly be? Figure out a way to properly recycle plastics and metal and glass and rubber and any other recyclable materials, paper, cardboard, all of it, instead of dumping it into the ocean or burying it underneath the ground like it's going to disappear. It's not going to biodegrade. It's not. Rubber takes about 500 years to biodegrade. Styrofoam takes hundreds and hundreds of years to biodegrade. Metals, forget about it. Yeah, some organic, like snips of vegetables and fruits and stuff. Yeah, that'll biodegrade pretty quickly or whatever. But you got all sorts of other things. You got like toxic plastics, metals, battery acid. People are dumping everything into the garbage, and then they just like bury it on top of mounds, or dump it into the ocean or lakes or rivers and streams. And the toxins um, seep into the water supply, and then we're drinking the water supply. And then also another thing, when you dump it into the oceans, Guess what? The fish and the sea creatures feed on that. And then the fishermen go right behind and they catch the fish and they serve it up at restaurants and put it in grocery stores. You're eating your own garbage, God. This is disgusting. That's one of the reasons why I don't eat seafood. But it's just ignorance at the highest level, and nothing positive is ever going to happen until this civilization can figure that out. The only way that things are going to get resolved is all these negative, ignorant people need to be removed from their positions. They just have to be removed forcibly. There's no other way of doing it. Um, and reasonable, intelligent, considerate people need to take their places. That's how things are going to make real progress. So. But you also have this nonsense going on with the Pope. He says that Jesus is not with America and the Trump administration. Yeah, no, he isn't because he doesn't exist, first of all. And all those threats that are made by Pete Hegseth or Keg's Breath, whatever you want to call him, and Donald Trump against the Pope. Guys, that's all nonsense anyway. I don't really know what's going on with that specifically, that back and forth, but them making that threat to the Catholic Church, they know what they're doing. And then the Pope's, retaliating with these sayings, and people are like supporting either side. Guys, don't support either side of it. First of all, the Pope and the Catholic Church, they're responsible for everything. They're the ones behind all of it. They control everyone. They control Israel. They control all the countries, America, all of it. This is what they have planned. They're the ones that are behind the scenes doing all of it. Um, so the Pope is negative. He is negative. He's a child abuser and a rapist. So is the Black Pope. All of them are. They're all complicit. And him saying all these so-called logical things like "let there be peace on earth" and all this. He doesn't care about that. His agenda. He wants to destroy the world. Him and the Black Pope and the Society of Jesus. They want to destroy the entire world. And yeah, he does a very good job of seeming like he cares. He couldn't care less. I'm telling you guys, he don't care about anybody. He doesn't even care about himself. Um, So yeah, don't believe that nonsense, that back and forth that's going. I can tell you what, they will quickly assassinate Trump if they're not already doing it right now. Because one of their techniques they like to use is poison. They could be, slowly poisoning him. That's possible, and you never know. The Catholic Church has used poisoning a lot. They've even poisoned their own popes. Look back in history and see how many popes actually, died of natural age. They always die of some sort of mysterious ailment because they're just going to get rid of them. And same with the black popes also. So yeah, you got to wonder how that's going to end. Um, it could end with them doing something. They already tried to kill. They tried to kill Ronald Reagan because of his stance against Israel and against the Catholic Church. They put down Saddam Hussein because he wanted to go away from the petrodollar. He wanted to have his own currency. That was the reason why they invaded Iraq. And, he pissed the Catholic Church off also. And look what happened to him. So they sent multiple countries at him. Yeah, so anybody that pisses off the Catholic Church is probably not a good idea unless you have some sort of, plan to get rid of all of them. And they're all over the place. They're all over the world. They're in Europe. They're in Asia. They're in Japan. They're in Australia. They're in America. They're in Canada, South America. They're all over the place. These people have literally planted their feet down on every inch of this soil on this planet. So good luck on trying to get rid of all of them. The only people that could get rid of all of them is probably other human beings from other planets. They know everyone's name. They know all of them, and they've already considered this once. Which I still think that they're going to have to end up doing that. I really do. I'm sticking my grounds. I'm planting my feet down. I think that it's inevitably going to have to come with them. Taking them off Earth, whether it be like terraforming Mars and putting them on Mars, or putting them on another prison planet. or creating a space prison. That's what I would do. I would create a space prison, and I would put billions of people on there. But that's just me. I don't. They don't really do things like that in the Federation of Light. But it'd be nice if they would just get rid of these people. My goodness, how much longer do you want innocence to suffer before you actually decide to do the right thing? Just do the right freaking thing and get rid of them. Make our lives a whole lot easier, and then we can start making some incredible progress. But so Israel is still bombing Lebanon. Of course they are, and they're attacking Syria, and they're also attacking other Middle Eastern countries. So I guess this so-called ceasefire never existed, according to Benjamin Netanyahu. Uh, the people that believe that there was some kind of ceasefire, guys, you're idiots. You are absolute morons. There never was a ceasefire. There isn't. Iran is still striking back because they're getting striked. That's why. This like 10-point agreement that they were supposed to agree on, Trump was supposed to agree on, and now he's making it look like, oh, I never knew about this 10-point agreement. I'm going to give you a 15-point agreement that you have to agree to. You don't have any cards, dude. You ain't got no cards to play. You were beat. American military was beat. The Iranians are going to outlast America. They are. They have underground cities. They have missiles coming in from China and Russia. He is the most unintelligent strategist that there ever is, and he shouldn't have even engaged in that war in the first place. He did it so he can, cover up the Epstein files, draw attention away from that, and apparently Melania wants to bring it back up, which is a good thing. Bring it back up. Also, she has to go to court too. But she's trying to weasel her way out of it. Wow, she's not going to go to court, even though, according to law, she has to testify. She has to. But she's not going to show up. Neither is Donald Trump. None of them are going to show up. They're going to weasel their way out of this, just like they do everything. And they're not going to be held accountable. But they will be held accountable on a subconscious level. And they will forever be remembered in the history of this civilization as some of the most lying, piece of garbage, manipulative, negative individuals that have ever existed. That's going to be their legacy. They have literally sealed their fate with this legacy, and that's who they are. That's who they want to be. Let them be that, guys. Let's just focus on ourselves. Let's focus on doing something positive with our lives as much as we can do, and just um, let them disintegrate. They're literally disintegrating, and they've gotten themselves into trouble by lying, and then telling more lies to cover that up. That's the way that it happens. So that's what they want. Then let them self destruct. All of them. Pam Bondi is going to self destruct. I can guarantee you. Nobody likes her. Everybody hates her. Caroline Levitt, everyone in the media hates her. Guts. And she's always going around taking these pictures with her kids, trying to win sympathy from people. But you can care less about Donald Trump abusing somebody else's children, but yet you're posting pictures with your children on social media like you're supposed to like garner some sort of sympathy from people. No, that's not the way that it works. You evil witch. So you're gonna get what you deserve. All of them are. JD Vance manipulating with the elections over there in Turkey, and Israel has threatened Turkey too. Wow. What else we got here? Uganda is sending 100,000 troops to defend Israel. Um, so guess what? The war in Iran is not even close to being done, and it turns out I was right about it. I hate to be right about something like this. It is not going to end, guys. It's just going to escalate. Um, Also, another thing, Israel's also threatening Spain. I could tell you, threaten Spain, France is going to come to the table. The United Kingdom is going to come to the table. Germany will also. Germany will defend Spain. Austria, Switzerland will too. Switzerland, I think, in this new world war that's coming, Switzerland will not stay out of it. They will have to get involved. They will not be neutral like they were in the last World War. They have to defend Germany and Austria because they're both all three of them are German speaking countries, and they'll have to defend their friends. So, and also they've made a close relationship with France and Italy also. But I'm not too sure about the president of Italy, that blonde woman, Maloney. I don't know. She kind of seems like a decent person, but I think that she may have done some corrupt things to get to that place. And they're all corrupt anyway. But she has some interesting things to say. She seems kind of like she's got a good head on her shoulders, but she's being manipulated by the Catholic Church. There's no doubt about it. Also, this Representative Eric Swalwell from California has been accused like of 4 sexually depraved crimes. Not sure what to really think about that. I haven't really looked into that too much. The only thing I wanted to comment about that is just how quick people, throw him under the bus. I mean, it could be possible. I mean, there's 4 women that are coming forward. If there's witnesses, then where there's smoke, there's fire. But um, it's just like immediately when that headline came out, people just started making evil comments about him. Maybe he is guilty, maybe he isn't. I don't know. I guess we'll have to, wait and see what the women say when they take him to court. But he's getting voted off though because of the sexual misconduct. It's possible they did do it. That's disgusting, and he should be removed. He should go to jail if he did it. But I'm just not 100% sure because they do that sometimes. They will make stuff up and they'll pay people to lie about it. But um, not really sure. I guess we'll have to see how that ends up. And also, one last thing, one of the most moronic, um, submissive, subjective little morons that ever existed, Joe Rogan. Oh my goodness. He licked Donald Trump's boots. He brought his daughters and his wife, and Donald Trump was, Googling all his daughters and his wife or whatever. With him right there sitting there when he took that photo op with him when he went to the White House or whatever, licking his boots for years. And then now all of a sudden he does a 180 and I guess he's again. He's not MAGA anymore. What a moron! What an absolute. I don't understand how somebody like that can become so successful. He's just another loser, just like everyone else. Guys, don't listen to what Joe Rogan has to say. The man's a moron. He thinks that the universe did not was not created by the Big Bang. You have got to be kidding me. That's the logical scientific explanation of it. Yes, it was. What do you think that some man in a toga came down from heaven and just snapped his fingers and boom, there it is. Billions of galaxies, trillions of planets, and it just came into existence in 7 days and 7 nights. Please shut your mouth, you moron. Unbelievable. And he's going around saying that America is facing a population collapse because people don't want to have children. The world is already overpopulated as it is. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. People are going to agree with his nonsense. But guys, you can only fit 500 million people on this planet. What do you think one of the problems is with all the garbage and people being homeless and people literally living on top of each other? It's because there's too many freaking people on the planet already. Is that you can't go anywhere for 5 minutes and be alone. You can't go anywhere. You can go hiking in the woods, and it's likely you'll run into somebody else. You don't have any free time to yourself. And all these diseases and viruses and degenerative disorders are getting passed down genetically because there's too many people. So if you would do a population slowdown and only the people that were healthier would procreate, then logically the entire civilization would be healthier. And you wouldn't be creating brand new spirit forms from the overall consciousness block. You cannot sustain 10 billion people with the amount of resources that's on the planet. So, him going around saying that America's going to face a population collapse. Come on, cry me a river. There's literally like 1.25 billion people in America. Guys, the census is wrong. There's more than a billion people in America. Trust me, I've been to every single state in this country aside from Alaska and Hawaii. And I can tell you right now from driving around in cities that the census that they're saying, what, there's 315 million people? No, there's not. There is literally 800 million more people than they're saying that there are. And it is not facing a population collapse. You have got to be kidding me. What an absolute moron. Anyone that believes that, you're an idiot. Yeah, I'm not holding back. I'm just sick and tired of listening to ridiculous people's theories and the nonsense dribble that's coming out of people's mouth. I'm just not holding back anymore. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm a logical, reasonable, positive thinking person and scientific minded. And, if you have your theories, you're more than welcome to have whatever kind of ridiculous theory you want to have. But, guys, you have to look at things from a logical perspective. And you have to, see the problems that are going on in this world. And you have to find the reasons for them. Overpopulation is one of them. The negative individuals that are ruling this civilization is another one. The diseases and viruses and degenerative disorders are another, and the genetic manipulation is another, and religious delusion is another. Those are the factors that are playing into our demise. And until all that stuff gets settled, we're not going to make any positive progress. So, but yeah, people they want to delve into the negative, and the ones that are in charge, like I've said before on previous episodes, their whole reason for all this is to develop reverse engineered UFO technology, to venture out there in space and to spread their supremacy and to keep control over other civilizations. And also another thing, they want to try to live forever. So that's the reason why I wanted to do this episode, because you have these nonsensical immortalists. That's what they call themselves. Like Peter Thiel and what's this guy's name? Man, I forgot his name. He has a very plain name. David Sinclair. Yeah, I was thinking about somebody else, but yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about first. So this Dr. David Sinclair, he's a Harvard biologist. And he came up with this theory. He says that cells carry epigenetic information, and the scratches in the cells, they're the ones that, like deteriorate cells, and that causes rapid aging. He's got all kinds of like NAD plus supplements and resveratrol and all that, which comes from red wine. That does have a positive effect. It really does. There's a place over here in Knoxville that does like vitamin infusions, and I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm going to. They have NAD plus, and that works incredibly well with keeping you young and youthful, and cognitive function, brain function, all that. But all right, so they were testing out on his company is called Life Biosciences. That's he like co-founded that company. They're testing out the Yamanaka factors. So the Yamanaka factors, they are proteins that convince cells to regenerate. There's four of them. You have OCT4, SOX2, KLF4, C-MYC, and these turn into induced pluripotent stem cells. That's what they turn into, whatever. So injecting them into the cells would convince the cell to regenerate itself, sort of like refurbish the cell itself. But they were having problems with that, with one of those Yamanaka factors, it was causing in mice tumor necrotic cells, so they were developing cancer. Um, but these Yamanaka factors, they can convince a cell to change into any type of new revitalized cell. You can do like lung cells, heart cells, and brain cells, and any tissue cells or anything like that. You can, they do work on that factor or whatever, but you have to use very little of it um, to do it. So the C-MYC factor, that's what they were having a problem with. They were having a problem with that because it was, its function is to strengthen the cell. It promotes cell proliferation and metabolism, and it's the factor that causes a cell to grow into a new cell. So, and it can rapidly accelerate cancer, tumor regenesis, and so one of the graduate students, how do you pronounce his name? Yuan Sheng Lu. He tried something different. He tried to exclude the C-MYC factor, and he only used the other three, so OCT4, SOX2, and KLF4. And he added an additional antibiotic that can switch off and on the growth of the cell. So essentially, um, it's like a trigger, like a biological trigger, telling the cell to stop growing. So if it continues to grow to a certain level, which this C-MYC factor or whatever, it would grow out of control, and new cells would be created, but they would be degenerate. They would create cancer cells. So he tried something different, and it actually worked. So what they did was they did this in a blind mouse, and it gave the mouse back its vision. That's pretty incredible, actually. And like I said, this is at Life Biosciences, so they had a lot of progress with this. The thing is with these studies, they were working on this for years and years. So I think it was like didn't write it down. It's like year 2017 when they started doing these tests, and now it's just coming out now. So they got approval from the FDA to start testing right now in April 2026. So obviously the tests have come back pretty positive, and the FDA says they can go ahead and start testing on the human beings, but it's not going to be the way you think it is, like just injecting somebody into the arm. No, what they're going to do is they're going to test it on people with glaucoma, and they're going to inject it straight into the eyeball. That sounds crazy, huh? I had to say I wouldn't be one of the test subjects for that. I wouldn't do it. Even if I did have glaucoma, I would not do it. Letting somebody inject a needle into my eyeball. A lot of things can go wrong there. You have so many optic nerves, and you can fully go blind with that. I would not be okay with that. Like I can't even. I have like this thing. I can't even really like put eye drops, like clear eyes or something like that in my eyes. That is very difficult for me to do that, to have anything in my eye. And when I get like dust or whatever, I try to get it out right away. Kind of have like this fear about that. But apparently they're working on getting some patients, and they're going to test that out. Uh, what is called the gene therapy is called. It's called ER100. That's what the solution that they're calling it. And they got a lot of investors. They got investors like Altos Labs out in California, New Limit, and Retro Biosciences. So you got some big names there that are very, very interested in this. So what David Sinclair thinks, his whole, view on things, his methodology, he thinks that using these Yamanaka factors, the three of them, essentially all your cells in your body are going to regenerate like infinitely. That's what he believes, but he thinks that that's like the gateway to living, forever, immortality, to essentially being immortal, but guys, that's not the way that it works. You can do certain things to regenerate cells, and I'll talk a little bit about that also. I got a slideshow to put up, but so the antibiotic, the control switch to turn it on and off is called doxycycline. And it takes about 2 months for this process to happen. So whoever is the test subject, they're gonna have to, stay, um, or they're gonna have to come back for at least 2 months. It takes about 2 months to see any results, so that's a very like slow process. But in the medical, the genetic field, that's not that long actually. Some tests take years and years to see any sort of improvement. Like like I said before, they have these secret facilities underneath the ground, these secret cities. They're doing much more advanced stuff than we're doing on the surface. This is on the surface, guys. This is not any of those secret projects. So they've already probably made these advancements down in those secret cities that they have underneath, like Arizona and New Mexico and Utah and all that, and Nevada too. Former Area 51. Whatever you see on the surface of Area 51, that's not even a fraction of what they have underneath the ground. Trust me. Um, so they call this partial or transient reprogramming. The whole reprogramming process to convince the cell to regenerate itself, and they try to limit the exposure of the Yamanaka factors. But so David Sinclair really believes that doing this is the secret to living for millions of years. He's even said this before. You cannot live for millions of years. So the way that it works, all right, there is a certain limit to our classification. Our specific classification, the limit to age is 4,000 years, but I've even gone on and said that I think there is a way to extend it out to 7,000 or 10,000 years. Um, as far as everyone knows, is 4,000 years. So we can extend our life to 4,000. There are other beings out there, other human beings that are different classifications, shape changers, and stuff like this. They have much longer lifespans, but they live a shorter amount of lives because you have to stay within the overall consciousness block 1.52 of the years that you live. So if you have a 4,000 year lifespan, if the population was under control on Earth, if it was a balanced population, about 500 million, um, so you would spend one and a half the times of your lifetime. So you add that. So you have 4,000 years, you add another 4,000 to it. That's 8,000 years. And then you split it in half. So that's 2,000 years is half of 4,000. So you add that up to 10,000. So you're going to be in the overall consciousness block awaiting your next lifetime for more than 10,000 years if the population was balanced. That's how things work. That's how it's supposed to work. We're supposed to have this rest period. You cannot, stay in a lifetime forever. Once you reach the high council level, yes, you're in a physical and half spiritual wavering state back and forth. But there are periods of time where you can't interact with people because you're in a meditative state. You're in a reflective spiritual state. So yes, they stay in the same physical body, but they're a whole nother spiritual level above us. Anything below the high council level and what we are, you have to have rest in between lifetimes. There's no way. Life is just so difficult. You have all this, all these pressures and challenges of the physical lifetime. You have to rest in between lifetimes. You need to have rest, or you're gonna like psychologically spiral. That's just the way that things work. So you cannot extend your life out for millions of years, and then you're gonna be a hot mess. I just can't imagine doing that. But I really do believe there's a way of doing it, to extend it out to maybe maximum 10 years, 10,000 years, not 10 years, 10,000. But this has to be done with the junk DNA. So let me see. Let me put this up here. All right, this is the DNA structure. You just put it on full screen. All right, play this. All right, you have deoxyribose, phosphate, guanine, cytosine, adenine, and thymine. So you have GCAT, what makes have to keep on playing that, I guess. But that is what it is bonded on a double helix. Um, Within these bonds or whatever, you have a percentage of the DNA that we don't have access to. People call it junk DNA, but it serves a purpose. This study sounds promising with the Yamanaka factors. It will help out with aging, but guys, it's not going to make you immortal. It's not going to. There's just no way of doing it like that. You have to unlock the 95% of the junk DNA that's in there. So here I'm going to add this to it. The stage. I have to pause this, rewind it. So for those of you that are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, I'm going to have to like pause it and explain. This is like the cell structure. All right, so you have the nucleus, the control center of the cell, storing and protecting genetic information. That's where the DNA is in, and the deoxyribonucleic acids are in there. All right, then you got the nucleolus. It is the center of it, the site where ribosomes are assembled before being sent into the cytoplasm. So they go through that nucleus wall into the center of the cell, the cytoplasm. Then you have chromatin, DNA packaged with proteins carrying the instructions for all cellular functions. What that means is it's sort of a blueprint which proteins are going to be created. So we have like well over 20 proteins as of now. There's something called the protein database. They are finding new proteins all the time. So like proteins that create skin cells, skin tissue, hair, all of it is created within the nucleus of the cell, and it comes out of the cell like like forms. It forms in protein forms. Then you have the plasma membrane. That's the membrane that surrounds the cell. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. It's a membrane network covered with ribosomes responsible for producing proteins. So yeah, it comes out of the nucleus of the cell. This blueprint and the rough endoplasmic reticulum. It has the ribosomes that are creating these proteins. All right, then you have the ribosomes themselves, molecular machines that read genetic code and build proteins. I don't know why I couldn't say that word. That's funny. Golgi apparatus processes, modifies, and packages proteins for transport inside or outside the cell. And those are like outside the ribosome. Then you have peroxisome. Breaks down toxic molecules and helps with cellular detoxification. So yeah, like free radicals and stuff like that. It'll break down within the cell. Toxins will essentially leach into the cell. Also, like bacteria, viruses, and things will get into your cells, and they will, alternate things on a genetic level. So a lot of the sicknesses, flu sicknesses, and stuff like that is because it reached into the cell wall and is causing problems. But peroxisome, it breaks down toxic molecules and helps with cellular detoxification. Then you have the cytoskeleton, structural network that maintains cell shape and enables movement. You also have centrioles, organizes microtubules, and plays a key role during cell division. So your cells have to divide, um, and if you have healthy cells, they divide into healthy cells. So then you have the lysosome, contains enzymes that digest waste, damaged parts, and unwanted molecules. You have to have this. If you have some sort of disorder, degenerative disorder, where your lysosomes are affected, you're going to get a buildup of cellular waste, and this causes all sorts of other problems. It will literally cause you to have like uh, cardiovascular disease, trouble with your cartilage, like arthritis and stuff like that. All this stuff builds up. Your whole cell has to function properly, but the lysosome, it's absolutely necessary for disposing of unwanted molecules. Then you have the mitochondrion, the powerhouse of the cell. This generates energy for the cell in the form of ATP. So, what brings energy to the mitochondria? Guess what? It's your spirit form. Your spirit form is the, I guess you could say, the power plant of your cells and your body. If you didn't have a spirit form, then the mitochondrion wouldn't work. Then you have smooth endoplasmic reticulum, produces lipids and detoxifies harmful substances, lipids and lipoproteins. And that's pretty much it. There's a whole lot of more details and stuff like that. I'll have to do an entire episode on cells, cellular regeneration, and all that, and DNA. I still want to do that. I want to put like together a big presentation on that. But all right, another way that you can do, like cell regeneration, is very, very simple, guys. You don't need to go through all that gene therapy. You just need to practice fasting, and it will create something in your body, a natural function that's called autophagy. So this is the presentation that I'm going to put up here. It's called fasting and autophagy, cell regeneration and longevity. This really, really works. And the example I'm going to use is a actual peer-reviewed, published paper from the Cleveland Clinic on autophagy, definition, process, fasting, and signs. That's what they call it. And what's the website there? It's clevelandclinic.org. That's if you want to look at this or whatever. It's just like a quick paper. It's nothing like, you don't need a freaking degree in biology to understand this. So it's very simple. It's explained in the best way possible by experts, and it was medically reviewed on April no August 23rd, 2022. All right, so autophagy allows your body to break down and reuse old cell parts so your cells can operate more efficiently. It's a natural cleaning out process that begins when your cells are stressed or deprived of nutrients. Researchers are studying autophagy's role in potentially preventing and fighting diseases. What is autophagy? Autophagy is your body's process of reusing old and damaged cells. Cells are the basic building blocks of every tissue and organ in the body. Each cell contains multiple parts that keep it functioning. Over time, these parts can become defective or stop working. They become litter or junk inside or otherwise healthy cells. Autophagy is your body's cellular recycling system. It allows a cell to disassemble its junk parts and repurpose the salvageable bits and pieces into new usable cell parts. A cell can discard the parts it doesn't need. Autophagy is also quality control for your cells. Too many junk components in a cell can take up space and can slow or prevent a cell from functioning correctly. Autophagy remakes the clutter into the selected cell components you need, optimizing your cell's performance. Um, See if I can get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Why is autophagy important? Autophagy is essential for a cell to survive and function. Recycles damaged cell parts into fully functional cell parts, gets rid of non-functional cell parts that takes up space and slows performance, destroys pathogens in a cell that can damage like viruses or bacteria. Autophagy plays an important role when it comes to aging and longevity too. As a person ages, autophagy decreases, which can lead to buildup of cellular junk parts and, in turn, cells that aren't functioning at their best. What happens during autophagy? Autophagy related proteins, ATGs, make autophagy possible. ATGs causes structures called autophagosomes to form. Autophagosomes carry the junk cell pieces to a part of the cell called a lysosome. Lysosome's job is to digest or break down other cell parts. Imagine lysosomes, part of a cell, eating other parts of the cell. The word autophagy is a combination of two Greek words translated to mean self devouring. Autos means self, uh, phagomai means to eat. Lysosomes eat the junk cell parts and then release the reusable bits and pieces. The cells use these raw materials to make new parts. And what causes autophagy? Autophagy can occur when your body cells are deprived of nutrients or oxygen, or if they're damaged in some way. Think of it this way: autophagy is a recycling process that makes the most of a cell's already existing energy resources. The process ramps up your body. Has to make the most of these resources because your cells aren't getting them from an outside source. With autophagy, a cell essentially eats itself to survive. The bonus is that this survival process can lead to cells that work more efficiently. All right. Can you induce autophagy? You can induce autophagy by stressing your cells to send them into survival mode, which induce autophagy. Though fasting means that you stop eating for a certain amount of time. Fasting deprives your body of nutrients, forcing it to repurpose cell components to function. Um, Calorie restriction. Restricting your calories means decreasing the number of energy units or calories your body consumes. Instead of depriving your body of calories completely, as with fasting, you limit them. This forces your cells into autophagy to compensate for the lost nutrients. Switching to a high fat, low carb diet. This type of diet, commonly referred to as a keto diet, changes the way your body burns energy so that instead of burning carbs or sugar for energy, it burns fat instead. This switch can trigger autophagy. Exercise stimulates processes that increase the activity of ATGs, such as stressing your skeletal muscles. Exercise can induce autophagy depending on the type of exercise you're doing and its intensity. Um, Still being able to induce autophagy doesn't mean you should. For instance, fasting, calorie restriction, or switching to a keto diet may not be safe if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or if you have a condition like diabetes. Similarly, you shouldn't begin a vigorous exercise routine without consulting a healthcare provider. And how long do you have to fast for autophagy to occur? Studies involving animals suggest that autophagy may begin between 28 to 48 hours of fasting. Not enough research has been collected on the ideal timing to trigger human. I don't understand that because there has been a lot of human data, but they decided to word it like that. Talk to a healthcare provider if you're considering significant changes to your diet, like fasting. While fasting may be a good option for some people, it may put others at risk. Um, it says, what is the relationship between autophagy and disease? Science once thought that autophagy is housekeeping, your cells' way of tidying up to survive and function correctly. Within the past 20 years, scientists have discovered that autophagy may also play an important role in preventing and responding to disease. For instance, studies have shown that problems with autophagy may be associated with Crohn's disease, diabetes, heart disease, Huntington's disease, kidney disease, liver disease, and Parkinson's. Problems with autophagy are also associated with cancer. Junk accumulating in a cell may increase the risk of errors in a cell's genetic material, DNA. Genetic mutations or changes in cell DNA can lead to cancer cells forming. And I don't have to read the rest of it, but yeah, that's their brief explanation on it. Um, it's a really good way of doing it. It's a natural way of doing it. So yeah. So like I've said in the previous episode, the best diet is the keto diet and fasting, intermittent fasting and actual fasting for like a day or two, guys. We're not supposed to be eating 3 meals a day. Um, there's so much unbelievable like garbage and misinformation out there. Yeah, we're not supposed to eat 3 4 meals a day and then like snack in between. Thing is, you gotta think about it this way. All right, like your stomach, you can fit about 5 pounds in there. So you have a 5 pound bag, and you're trying to fit like 10 pounds of food in there. You have to give you have to give the food enough time to process and to break down, and you have to also account for the nutrients being transported into your cells and throughout your bloodstream and being carried on LDLs and HDLs and all that, and protein synthesis uh, to be created. And also, you have to account for your hormones. Also, your hormones are affected by your diet. You have to keep that in check. So, people that have hormonal problems is probably because of your diet and nutrition. And also, eating too much carbohydrates. That's like inefficient energy source. The most efficient energy source is ketones. Ketones are created when you have a lack of carbohydrates. It's like 50 grams of carbohydrates or less. You have to eat less than 50 grams of carbohydrates. Then your liver creates ketones, uh, ketoneogenesis. So that creates it. You don't have to take exogenous ketones. You can do this on your own by like calorie restriction, um, preventing that. And you create this in your body. You also fast for a while, for like 24 hours. Eat 1 meal a day. Whenever you get hungry, I mean, it could be like 24, it could be like 36 hours. And this will give your body time to do its natural functions. It's supposed to function properly, and it will, keep you looking young and youthful. But this takes years of doing it. It's not like like a magic pill or anything. So that's going to happen overnight. You have to exercise. You have to keep an eye on your diet and nutrition. You have to try not to have any vices or anything like that. And fast and eat 50 grams or less of carbohydrates. And this is going to do absolutely amazing things for your brain fog. It's going to like remove brain fog. Ketones are so vital to our brains. Our brains function on like 90% ketones. We need 90% ketones for our normal brain functions to happen. So you also have to think about, like your skin elasticity, wrinkles, and all this. This is all affected, guys. This is all affected by, um, the autophagy and cell regeneration. So there are other, supplements. NAD plus is a good one. Resveratrol, it does have some positive effects. Biotin, um, anything like adaptogenic mushrooms, cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi. Drink like green juice. I have like a whole little routine that I do. Drink green juice, and that helps. I put like matcha in it for the caffeine because I definitely need caffeine. I'm a caffeine addict. I have to can't function without some sort of caffeine, whether it's from matcha or from like espresso or something. Um, but yeah, you just take care of yourself, guys, and you will extend your life out. There's only so much we can do right now because medical science is just it's getting there. It's getting to that point. What David Sinclair is doing, like his whole mentality, he thinks he's gonna live forever, and that he figured out like the fountain of youth or something like that. No, he hasn't. It has to do with 95% of the junk DNA. You have to um, activate things in stages, and that's he needs to be looking in that direction, which this is some sort of progress. It is the Yamanaka factors are a little bit of progress, but at the same time, it's not the magic bullet that he's looking for. Um, and we also have to develop technology to perceive the other layers, the subatomic layers. So there are seven subatomic layers to deoxyribonucleic acids. Whatever you see from the current technological microscopes, guys, there are seven layers. There are even more layers below that, and we have to alter things on those layers. So as the technology grows, yes, we are going to make periodic life extensions. The first life extension would be up to be like 300 years, and then the next one would be like 400 years, and then like 700 years, and then 1,000 years. But you can only get to like 4,000. That's the knowable like maximum of our classification. So anyone that thinks that you're gonna be immortal and stuff like that, it's not possible, guys. I wish it was. I would definitely do it myself. I would want to live forever. It's not because I'm afraid of dying. I just, I want to accomplish a lot. I don't think that, I think that I can probably do it for 1,000,000 years and not, have to incarnate. But I guess I'll have to see in the future if I can survive without spiraling into some sort of psychotic episode. So, I'm a scientist and I have to be scientifically minded about that. So we'll see, but we need rest. We need rest in between lifetimes. And as far as anyone knows, it's not possible to be immortal, but it's a nice thought. It's a cute little thought though. It's because mostly what it does, it rises up from people's fears of dying. Don't be afraid of dying. Everything happens in cycles. Nature happens in cycles. Uh, Winter, summer, spring, fall, all of it. Everything is cyclical. We can't be afraid of that. It's a natural creational process. On a spiritual level, yeah, we exist forever. So tend to that, tend to the spiritual, and delve into these things. This is good that their life biosciences is doing this. This is progress, a little bit of it, but all these wars. I mean, that's gonna slow down progress. And then you have a sick, disgusting individual like Donald Trump, who couldn't care less about genetics and the science. He doesn't care anything about that. He wants to live forever, but he doesn't like fund all these projects. He's literally defunding everything. He's cutting away billions and billions of dollars from the funding, from the sciences, from NASA, from genetics, from all of it. Who the heck does he think he is? Honestly, you have to put money into these things to cure diseases and viruses and degenerative disorders and to delve in to figure out that we are genetically altered by other peoples. This is a fact. And it's not even going to be now that people are going to realize that I'm right about this. It's going to be in the future. We are genetically altered. We're literal degenerate humans. We're not, physiologically perfect. We're not genetically perfect, but you can never achieve perfection. But we need to be normal human beings. We need to fix the genetic problems. And that's going to come when people start figuring out that there are more invisible layers, which there was someone out in Japan that figured that out. I have to look into that. I forgot to do look into that peer review, but they'd figured out that there's actually another layer, so that's actual progress. But yeah, and you got these other people like Peter Thiel. My goodness, that guy's He's so into this antichrist theory. And what he's doing, he's an immortalist too. He believes that he's going to live forever. He's using young blood, guys. And he's even admitted this. He takes children and teenagers that are the same blood type and he has blood transfusions. Now, he says that he pays them to do it. But what if he's kidnapping people and kidnapping children and teenagers and forcing them to do this? There's only so many that you can, pay. Their parents aren't going to let them do it. So, is he going to go without his blood transfusion? No, he's going to use kidnapped children and teenagers. That's what he's doing. He's using young blood. A lot of people are. Oprah Winfrey does it. Um, if Elon Musk wasn't such a ketamine addict, he'd probably do it too. He doesn't really care about all that. He's just a self-deprecating piece of garbage anyway. Rapist, child molesting piece of garbage. But yeah, these people, they're doing like sick things. Wake up, everyone. There's a right way to do things, and then there's a wrong way to do things, and these people are going about it the wrong way. They're having these like arrogant, megalomaniacal ideas that you can live forever, and they're doing whatever it takes. They're experimenting on kidnapped victims. Guys, there is clearly a right way of doing things. And what frustrates me is the fact that, Pata and Quetzal and the Federation of Light are just letting this happen. All they care about is progress. They don't care how we achieve the progress, guys. I'm telling you that it matters. It matters so much. What they should do is they should allow the positive people to make the genetic advancements, the medical advancements, technological advancements. But all the wrong people are in the right in the places of authority, and they're the ones that control the corporations, not positive people like myself and some others. We're the ones that deserve that, right? They don't understand that. How is it they can't get that through their thick skulls? Eventually, in the future, they're going to regret it. They're going to regret letting these negative, sick individuals do whatever they want just for the sake of progress. It doesn't work like that in creation, guys. It doesn't. So we deserve the right to make all the positive progress on this planet. And until that happens, things are going to be, backwards, anti creational, grotesque, disgusting, and negative energies are going to continue to be created because these people are doing things for the wrong reason. You have to do things for the right reason. I truly, truly believe in scientific progress, but there is a certain way of doing things where you're not experimenting on people that have been kidnapped, children, teenagers, women, and men. But the Federation Light doesn't care about that. They don't care about anybody that's been kidnapped. So all they care about is Earth humanity progressing. All right, whatever. So if the roles were reversed, if I was the one sitting up in the ship and then this was going on in Era or Andromeda or any other Playaran planet or Timber, I can promise you I would make a different decision. So you guys want to make excuses for being cold hearted, apathetic, and purely logical and purely reasonable? Fine, do it. Whatever. I'm sick and tired of that nonsense way of thinking, guys. It does matter. It matters so unbelievably. And it matters the legacy that we leave behind. So, what is going to be all these people's legacies? Nothing but depravity. So, guys, just weather the storm. Some progress is being made on a medical and genetic level, but not enough. I can tell you what, if I had a genetics company, I'd be making a whole lot more progress, but we'll see. Guys, the future is bright, is positive. We just have to get through this negative period, and unfortunately, there's not enough people out there that actually really care about us. So we have to care about ourselves. We have to care about each other. We have to be considerate of each other, and please, please stop all this hateful nonsense. Stop going around social media, spreading hate, jumping to conclusions about things. Don't do it. Just stay like sort of neutral about it. And if you have the facts, do like what I'm doing. Tell your factual opinion. So that's the way that things work. As long as you're not like overly overt in people's faces, and you're like, doing things to cause negative energies, being hateful and all that. I'm not hateful at all. I don't hate anyone or anything. But hopefully, we figure things out soon. and we get through all this. We get through it to get to the other side. But unfortunately, guys, it doesn't look like there's there's any way to live forever unless you're a vampire. And no, I don't believe in vampires. But that's what I'm going to do next Friday. I'm going to do another Freaky Friday episode about Vlad Dracula, the true story of him, and like the mythical part to it in vampires. So that'll be a fun episode. I wanted to do it yesterday, but I just didn't feel like doing anything, honestly. But yeah, I'll do that on Friday. Hopefully I won't get busy on Friday, and it'll be a fun episode about vampires and Dracula. So, but unfortunately, it doesn't exist. We can't be immortal. That's actually a good thing, to just like live life to the fullest. The time that you do have, that's the secret. Just be a good person, be free spirited. Um, don't allow yourself to be subjected. Plant your feet down. Don't be a submissive person. Don't do it. Just be a strong minded, strong willed person, and educate yourself about everything, and meditate, evolve spiritually, guys, and enjoy the time that you do have as much as we possibly can. Even though there are a lot of horrible things going on, you have to take a few moments to yourself, and please see things clearly. Don't let people like the news or the media or Joe Rogan or Dave Rubin or any of these idiots or whatever try to, convince you. Just think for yourself. That's all. That's my advice for everyone. Just always think for yourself. Even if you don't want to listen to uh, what I say, it doesn't matter as long as you think for yourself and you come to your own factual conclusions, guys. By doing the research, by doing the hard work like we're supposed to do. That's how we're supposed to do things. We're not supposed to be lazy. We're supposed to be motivated, and we're supposed to, keep a neutral view on things, like a scientific view on things. Do not put any sort of religious delusional aspect into it, guys. Leave that stuff out. And I can guarantee you, when you leave any religious factors out of things, you're going to come to the most amazing conclusions. I promise you will. And that's the beginning of the whole realizations and cognitions, and then your spirit form, your conscious, is going to tell you that's the truth. You know the truth when you find it. So find your own truth, and don't let people lead you down a path like a sheep. You're not a sheep. So um, that's it for tonight. Hopefully that was educational. Like I said, I will do eventually. I'm not sure when, but eventually I'll go into more detail about DNA and all this junk DNA. I don't want to go. I don't want to like provide too much information on how to extend lives, because I don't want any negative individuals figuring that out. I definitely don't want the Catholic Church, the Illuminati, anybody trying to figure out how to extend their lives out to be hundreds of years old, because I can't do it. But yeah, imagine that. Imagine, Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or Pete Hegseth or anyone else, or Benjamin Netanyahu living to be at like 400 or 500 years old. Imagine that. They would never stop. They would never evolve. Yeah, my theory is that they would probably get more and more negative. But yeah, I'll try to explain as much as I can without giving too many secrets away. And tune in next Friday. Those of you listening on Apple Podcasts, I do have a Reddit thread. We are all not from Earth. And I've got a website, weareallnotfromearth.com. And you can watch the video on Patreon. We are all not from Earth podcast. That's how you have to type it in on Patreon. And yeah, you can watch the videos. This is the 15th episode. And next one, 16th, will be on vampires and Draculas. That'll be fun. But you guys have a good weekend. You have a good night. I wish everyone well, all your future endeavors. I'll see you on the next episode, or I'll see you in the next lifetime.